Can you really get an E-2 visa with less than a $50,000 investment? The answer may surprise you. Hi, I'm Amanda Shaffer. I'm an experienced immigration attorney in New York City. Today we're going to look at the minimum investment required for an E-2 visa. An E-2 visa allows entrepreneurs to come live and work in the United States by investing in a business. It also allows their spouses and minor children to accompany them. So what does the law say about the minimum investment required? The law actually does not state a minimum dollar amount that is required. Rather, it says that the investment must be substantial. Well, what does it mean to be substantial? This is going to depend on various factors that we'll touch on in a moment, but essentially what it means is that it has to make sense for the type of business that you have and what your ultimate business goals are. In addition, the law says that your funds must be at risk and irrevocably committed. What this means is that even before you file for your E-2 visa, you have to take the money that you're going to use for the investment and put it out of your reach. So that can be done via an escrow agent, or that can be done by literally making purchases, entering into contracts prior to filing for the visa. So let's look at some of those factors that affect what the investment amount needs to be. The first is business type. Is it product-based or is it service-based? Generally speaking, product-based businesses are going to require more capital up front. For example, if you want to open a company that manufactures, you're going to need some pretty expensive equipment that could be hundreds of thousands of dollars, as opposed to a service-based business that maybe you won't even need office space for if it's something that's remote. So what makes sense for the initial investment will vary depending on what the needs of that business is. The second factor is, are you buying a business or are you starting a business from scratch? Generally speaking, you're going to need a lot more capital up front in order to purchase a business. Whereas starting from scratch, you could start it on a smaller scale and then scale it up. And finally, location and industry. Starting or purchasing a business in New York City is likely going to be more expensive than starting or purchasing a business in Kansas. And the industry that you're in, similar to business type, is going to dictate how much of an investment you need as well. So for example, if you're in the business of installing garage doors, well, you're going to need a lot of inventory to get off the ground. And that inventory is going to cost a lot. But if you are a restaurant and you need some equipment, yes, but you generally need ingredients in order to open and have customers, it's not going to cost as much. We've helped clients get E-2 visas with investments for as little as $30,000. So let's take a look at some of these examples. We were able to get a remote consulting firm an E-2 visa for a just over $30,000 investment. We were able to get an E-2 visa for a restaurant. The investment was around $80,000. And we had a trucking company that started off with one truck for about $90,000. What matters the most for you to get approved? First and foremost, viable business plan, especially if you are starting a business. You're going to need to be able to justify the amount of your investment based on all those factors I just mentioned. One way to do this, and this is for us a requirement, is you need to compare it to other businesses in the same industry and location. What are their costs to start up or purchase? How does it compare to yours? And finally, you need to make sure that you're putting your capital at risk, that you're actually making the purchases, not just planning it down the road. Check out our other E-2 videos on our social media networks And contact us today for a free case evaluation to find out if you are eligible for an E-2 visa. Thanks for watching.